Hi, my name is Alex Seberg, and today I'm going to tell you about single-use plastics. So, let's get started. A single-use plastic is one we only use once and then discard to never use again. Here are some examples of single-use plastics: plastic bottles, plastic straws, plastic cutlery and plates, packaging such as bubble wrap and styrofoam, and finally, plastic bags. Plastics are made of polymers. Polymers are long chains of smaller molecules. These smaller molecules are called monomers. The process of making these plastics was invented by Leo Hendrik Baekeland in 1907. By changing the structure of these chains, you can create different textures in plastics, such as the airiness of styrofoam or the smooth satin finish of a plastic straw. You can also make different rigidities, such as the hard shell of a plastic bottle or the soft moldable finish of a plastic bag. Now that we know what single-use plastics are and how they are made, let's look at the effects of them on the environment. Much of our garbage that is disposed of ends up in rivers. In many countries that have developed very rapidly, the waste disposal infrastructure has not kept up with the booming population. This leads to a lot of trash ending up in the rivers. This is a problem because lots of the people that live in these countries rely on the rivers for water, bathing, and other things. These here are the 10 most polluting rivers in the world. As you can see, they are all from countries that are very rapidly developing. Every year, 14 billion pounds of trash make its way into the ocean. A lot of this trash is coming from the rivers. Once it's in the ocean, it is sucked up by ocean gyres, which are large, slow-moving whirlpools that circulate the ocean's waters. This creates large islands and collections of trash in our world's oceans. These here are the 5 main ocean gyres: the North Pacific, South Pacific, South Atlantic, North Atlantic, and Indian Ocean Gyre. These are all loaded with billions of pounds of trash. All of this garbage in the ocean is a serious threat to the animals that live there. For example, by 2050, it is projected that 99% of all seabirds will have consumed plastic at some point in their life. This is a serious problem because when they eat the plastic, they will suffocate or starve to death and die. Plastics can also affect and kill other animals. Often, they get wrapped around their bodies, necks, or head and can cause suffocation or starvation. Recently, there was a dead sperm whale that washed up in eastern Indonesia. In its stomach, it had 13.2 pounds of plastic. This is super concerning because plastics are not only affecting small animals such as fish and seabirds, but they're also killing the largest animal on the planet, the whale. Plastics don't just affect the animals in our oceans, they also affect us humans. When plastic is exposed to UV rays in the sun, it crumbles into very tiny particles called microplastics. Microplastics are pieces of plastic that are smaller than 5 millimeters. There are around 51 trillion of these particles floating around in our ocean. Most fish consume these microplastics. We then eat those fish that have digested the microplastics and they get into our system. 93% of people have BPA in their urine. BPA is a byproduct made in a lot of plastics. While the growing amount of plastics may seem like a serious problem, there's a quickly growing way to get rid of them. This process is called WTE, or waste to energy. This is a new method to use our non-recyclable plastics and ground them and compress them with wood or paper debris to create pellets that can be burned in industrial plants or even on a smaller scale. Natural gases and fossil fuels are only about 1/3 as efficient as these pellets, so they are a great alternative. Well, now you're probably thinking, what can I do to help? Well, there are a few ways you can play your part. First, always use reusable bottles and cups. Secondly, always say no to straws. Finally, the best way you can help out is whenever you go to the store, always use a reusable bag. Today, we've taken some time to learn about single-use plastics and the effects on the environment. My name again is Alex Siebert, and thanks for watching.